Mr. Director, why was it important for you to show such graphic displays of violence in the film?
One might say that this is quite inappropriate to insert violence in a film where the lead character is a child. I, on the other hand, think this is not the case. For me, violence is a core to this film because violence shows power. The ability to do violence shows that you're dominant, you're a powerful group, while the acceptance and submission towards violence shows that you're weak and powerless. This is exemplified by the character Captain Vidal, who violently tortures and kills the stutterer and also the hunter that he caught in the middle of the night. So by violently torturing them, Captain Vidal shows that he is on top, he has the power, he is the dominant group. And by the end of the film, we can see that this power from the fascist leaders began to transition to the rebels. This is exemplified by the act where Mercedes cut Captain Vidal's face. So by showing violence, Mercedes has some degree of power in herself by the end of the film. And at the end of it, the fascist rulers are toppled by the rebels. So this shows that violence is core. Is a core in for me to convey my message, because my message is that we should go against governments that oppresses us, and violence is a way for me to symbolize that.
What a brilliant job you have done as a scriptwriter. So your story blends elements of mythology and history. What kind of research do you have to do to write your script?
To compose the script for Pan's Labyrinth, I have to look into concepts such as formalism, parallel stories, and time shifting. It is a combination of real world and fantasy. An example is the scene in which Ophelia is in the Pale Man's lair. The monster is the symbolical representation of Captain Vidal, and this scene precisely mirrors the dinner scene that occurs before it. Catching the fairies in the air, he bites their heads off after almost shooing them away, killing them just as Vidal silenced the nonsense that he overheard at the dinner table. I did my research on Roman mythology regarding fonts and Greek mythology, which specifies Pan. According to this mythology, fonts are capable of guiding humans in need, and in Pan's Labyrinth, the font guides Ophelia through her task. I analyzed fascism as well, and in this movie, the citizens are living in fear, and the leaders are oppressing the lower class. This is portrayed through Ophelia's story about the Blue Mountain Rose that is called by many men, but nobody dares to get it. This scene, that of Ophelia's Rose story, is in a symbolical setting. The people of Spain are represented by the men in the story. The blue flower is their political freedom, and the thorns around the rose is the fascist regime.
Visual effects. So bad dreams are made by you. So how did you incorporate elements of magical realism into this film?
The elements of magical realism are very important in this film. So we combine the realistic and unrealistic elements effectively in order to make the viewers believe in the unrealistic elements. In the film, the fairy is one of the examples of magical elements, so we need to insert some realistic elements to make it believable. So we actually showed the transformation of the stick insect to the fairy to blur the line between real and unreal. So it's like when you see the insect in real life, you'll think that, oh, it may turn into a fairy. So that's how we make it believable. Also, we use a lot of computer graphics to make Ophelia's imaginary world look magical. However, we did face some challenges while doing the visual effects, especially with the mythical creatures. So a good example from the film is the faun, who actually acts like a mentor to guide Ophelia through the quest, because he has to look very different but not too scary. So So we put a lot of makeup on the actor, but at the same time we have to consider the fact that it won't affect his hearing and speaking. The same thing goes to the Pale Man, because the characters of the Pale Man and the Fawn are actually shared by the same actor. So we actually put in a lot of efforts to make the mask of the Pale Man, because he's the metaphor of the captain. So he has to look as scary as possible in Ophelia's imaginary world to show how cruel and violent the captain is in the real world.
Your performance was amazing. As an actor, how realistic do you think is Ophelia's character? Does she behave in a way that is typical of a girl her age?
To me, this character is realistic because she vividly portrays an image of an innocent and powerless young girl. Ophelia is innocent, and as we can see from the beginning of the movie, behaving like a typical girl at her age, she enjoys reading fairy tales and truly believes in their existence. We can also see that she is fearful and she needs protection from adults. For example, she sleeps with her mother at the first night in the army camp to seek for a sense of security. But her mother, who is sick, is not capable to provide her protection, so she has to be strong by her imagination. So in her imaginary world, she is a tough princess. She possesses an adult-like characteristics by using her intelligence and her bravery to face the attitude in her first task. However, imagining herself as a strong girl doesn't change the reality because it is not true. The truth is she's a weak little girl that has no authority or power to change her harsh situation staying with her stepfather. In fact, this is proven that when she begs Mercedes to take her away from the captain. So this scene also tells us that Ophelia is looking for protection from another woman after her mother's death, and magnifies her powerless characteristics as a younger at her age, which I think convinces audience that this character is real.
Yes, Ophelia's character is indeed a brilliant role model for young people. Throughout the movie, Ophelia shows different characteristics such as brave and determined. Earlier in the movie, she does not freak out upon seeing the stick bug turning into a devil-looking fairy. Instead, she follows it to a labyrinth at the back of her house. The telling characteristic that she has allowed her to explore more of the labyrinth, though it gives an impression of a ghost house. This valorous characteristic owned by Ophelia should be inculcated to the younger generation so that they are not afraid to try new things, which enable them to enrich their knowledge. Looking at the youth today, I would say they are brave, but it was used in the wrong direction. People say that the crimes that they did are because of their eagerness to try new things. It is true. However, if this characteristic is channeled to the right place, like promoting them to talk in front of the public or to take hold of important posts in an organization, it will groom them to become a successful person in the future. Ophelia's determination is clearly seen when she tells the Fawn that she wants to finish her task. Although she failed her second task, she is very persistent in pursuing her ambition of becoming a princess in the fairy world. For young people today, this characteristic is very important as the competition for education and job is becoming stiffer. If they do not have the determination in reaching their goals, it will be impossible for them to survive. Last but not least, being disobeyed at the right time. Ophelia has been following the Fawn's order since the beginning of the movie. However, near the end, she disobeyed the Fawn's order to kill her brother. In Malaysia, the students are taught not to disobey the teacher. This is good, but it actually kills the student creativity. In class, the students are given instruction on what to do, and they are scolded if they do something that is different from other students. I disagree with this. When a student does something different, the teacher should value what the student is trying to portray, because it can be something phenomenal, who knows? Being disobedience does not mean the student is rude or no accident. It may be just a way for them to show their creativity, something that is out of others' mind.